Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the next issue of NiUG's Plugged In. This is a vodcast that we're going to start delivering to everyone to improve communications, not only just about iMIS, but about NiUG, about products like we will today, and also deliver to you some how-to videos as well. So just trying to get communication out there, and these are going to be short snippets, anywhere from 15, hopefully, to 30 minutes, depending on how much Doug and I decide to talk today. So today's issue is going to be a product. We don't want to call it a sales piece, Doug. Okay, this is not a sales piece, but this is an informative way for all of you to get information about some of Computer System Innovations products without having to necessarily call them and be on with a salesperson. We give you the information you need to know to get you started. And then if you're interested, go ahead and reach out to Computer System Innovations in the end. So today with Computer System Innovations, we have Doug Morris. I'm sure many of you are familiar with many of his products, but we're going to talk about a few of those today. And Doug is the founder and chief product officer with Computer System Innovations. Welcome, Doug.
Thanks, Michelle. I be honest, I heard vodcast. I thought it was vodka, so that's why I showed today.
Oh, I should have known. I should have known that's why you were here. Just like that sign in your office that says martini, and
yes,
you claim it's a TV. At any rate, so we're going to talk a little bit about your products today. This is a nice open discussion. Let's keep things on the up and up. And here's my first question for you. So I know one of your products is iEmail. You're very passionate about iEmail. Tell us why iEmail and your Outlook, iEmail, your Outlook add-on is so important to you, and one of your signature, in my opinion, one of your signature products out there in the world.
It's a great question. A lot of people use iEmail for sending just quick emails to be it members or committees or things like that. But to me, the real power of iEmail is it solves the communication gap that we sort of have in the world today. If we think about what we're doing today, we're blasting out emails to everyone, and we're hoping they communicate back. Now, the problem is if I send a blast email out, say to all my members, and one of those members decides to reach out to one of my staff and they start to have a dialogue. That dialogue, especially it's going to happen in Outlook probably, that dialogue is hidden. It's in a bubble. No one knows it's happening. And so as another coworker of mine might go in there and pull up Michelle Morgan's record, and they have no idea that Michelle's been talking to JT, my coworker. I think the most powerful part of iEmail is the ability to save that conversation. So as you're having that dialogue in Outlook, to be able to save it on the member record right in iMIS. So as we think of iMIS as the true source of all data, right? I want to be able to pull up that member record. I want to be able to see that Michelle has been chatting with one of my coworkers. Oh, and what are they chatting about? And that gets so important, right? Because we're thinking about this new world where people can go work from anywhere and they might be in a different time zone. And so hey, guess what? My coworker's not here right now, but I can see the conversation that's been happening and I can jump right in. Otherwise, my coworker has to copy everybody. And so what I love about iEmail is the ability to save that email from the member on the member's record. I think that's super powerful.
Definitely. That's great. I know nothing drives me crazier than to be included in 500 emails about something that doesn't necessarily need to catch my attention, but it sticks in my inbox because now I need that history. So huge benefit to having that kind of flexibility with the product. That's awesome. It's also very great that being able to see what other people have been talking about, so that unlike when you call, let's say, Verizon, you have to regurgitate that conversation 500 times to 500 different people. So that's awesome.
And I think there's an important part there. It has to come from the leadership of the organization. They have to require that these conversations get saved. And that's one of the things I see sometimes where leadership just says, yeah, you guys should do this. And if they don't require it, staff aren't going to do that. It is an extra click or two and everyone's busy. And they're like, oh, I have to save the conversation with Michelle. So I have to hit save message and I have to hit, it's 2 extra clicks. Nobody claims they have time for that. So it has to be an organization-wide engagement effort, if you will.
Right. That's awesome. And it's so important, especially these days when our inboxes are being flooded with information.
Yes.
So one of the things that I've been hearing so much about is your product, which is iDMS, which stands for iMIS Data Management Suite. Can you talk to us a little bit about that? Tell us, why is this going to help us with the cloud and our move to the cloud?
Well, I think the first thing is it works on iMIS 2017. So I'm super excited about that. So people can use it today as they get ready for the cloud. I'm reminded of these API sessions that we've had at NiUG and whatnot, and everyone's excited about learning about the API. And then they get into the session and they go, hold on, I'm not a programmer. That's a problem, right? So yes, the API for iMIS, you kind of have to know what you're doing in terms of programming. And so it's not something that works for the common person. The data management suite actually puts the power of that API into regular end users' hands. They can now go and change things in iMIS using the API without knowing any programming. So if we think about the old days, if I wanted to change, say, the member type in iMIS, a lot of people would write SQL, and it's not hard. You go update member type, set it to this. Yeah, and you try to remember the where clause. So you don't erase all your member types. That's fine. But the problem, if we really think about this, is 5 or 6 other things happen when you update a member type in iMIS.
Right.
We go and we have to set the previous member type. We have to change the member type change date. There's a company record flag, there's a member record flag, and of course, our change log in the name table. And there's other stuff that happens behind the scenes. The API takes care of all that. Well, isn't that wonderful? Well, hold on. How do I get to it? Well, the data management suite puts the power of that API into end users' hands. If they want to change member types, they can do it. And guess what? It's guaranteed to be done right. It's guaranteed that all those other things that have to happen are going to happen. So really, the reason I'm so excited about it is people are going to stop corrupting their database. They're going to actually do it right. And so they can do it on 2017, and then they can do it as they go to the cloud. They don't need SQL access. SQL, everyone's like, oh no, I'm losing SQL access. Well, yeah, but a lot of people have been ruining their database with SQL. And that's where ASI gets frustrated, because they're trying to diagnose issues that aren't theirs. They're actually data issues. And so ASI now has said, you will not touch our database with SQL anymore. You'll use our API so that it's guaranteed to be clean. And well, how do you do that? Well, the data management suite will allow you to import the data. It'll allow you to update the data, and allow you to even schedule things. So
nice. That's awesome. Definitely, I think that makes you a programmer without being a programmer, right? We're gonna go with that. Can I put that on a resume?
I like that. Yeah, I'm gonna actually, I'm gonna write that down too.
Be a programmer. See, I'm full of wit and humor and great creative taglines, Doug. You just need to call me.
I've got an elevator pitch now.
There you go. Be a programmer without being a programmer. iDMS.
There you go.
Okay. All right. So my next big question for you is, what do you think is the biggest opportunity for customers who are transitioning to the cloud?
Well, there's a lot of opportunities. And there's a lot of, you're like, oh, this is going to be hard and everything. Yes, here's the deal. If we look back at what customers have done throughout the years, they've had projects throughout the years, and they've used multiple vendors, and those vendors have all connected to the iMIS database in various ways. The great opportunity is we're going to redo those connections now. They're going to use this API that we're talking about, and the data is going to be written in a sustainable way, if you will. So if we think about a client today that wants to upgrade iMIS, and they go, ooh, there's 17 different integrations that talk to my system. I'm going to have to test all 17 of them. I'm going to have to go figure out what's wrong. I got to reach out to 17 vendors and whatnot. Well, as we go towards EMS and the API only access, which is what all modern day softwares use, iMIS is just gonna upgrade. You won't even know or care because all of the vendors are still talking to the same API and it's still going to work. So you don't worry about upgrades. You're not afraid of them. You're actually excited. It's coming. I hear it's rolling out this week. Oh, I'm getting all these new features. Great. And not, oh no, what's it going to break? So that's what I'm truly excited about. These releases that will come out and will offer new features without the scary part of yes, but 17 things are going to break.
Oh Lord, yeah, that's a lots of prep work, lots of testing and things like that going on with the older versions.
Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah. Let's see what breaks. All right.
Yes.
So no, do not do that, people. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a public service announcement. So what's next? I want to know what cool things are coming. What are you guys working on?
Well, secretly, we've integrated Microsoft Power Apps with iMIS, and that I think is going to revolutionize iMIS. You know, it's going to give it it's going to give it just incredible power. And when we think about Microsoft Power Apps, a lot of people don't know about them, but you'll be able to do things like, oh, when an email comes in from this person, go do this. When this happens, go do this. So it's almost a workflow type thing that happens, and it can integrate with so many other systems. So all of a sudden now iMIS works with thousands of other systems out of the box. And so I'm super excited about that. I make it sound like it just turns on. There's going to be work involved, but I'm really excited. We've done a proof of concept here. We're going to be showing it to ASI next week. We are so excited about this Power Apps concept because if we can make it all work, it's going to turn iMIS just global, right? It will just integrate with so many things. So I'm super, super excited about that.
Your lips to God's ears, Doug.
Yes.
hopefully it happens just like that.
Yes, of course.
So those people who are tuning in, I think we should give them a little bit of a surprise, right? They should get something for sitting through a couple minutes worth of a product non-demo, if you will. So what can we give them from CSI?
Okay, when you license any of our cloud products, Billy, who heads up our product support, does onboarding with you and he gets you going. And then he kind of says, hey, if you want to do all these fun things, we have some nice videos out there on our docs site, docs.csiinc.com, and he sort of points you to that. What we're going to do for anybody watching this, if they're interested, if you license any of our products before the end of the year, we're going to throw a free hour of training in, right? Where we're going to show you cool things, right? So you have the iMIS data management suite and, oh, that's great. We might say, what do you want to do with it? Well, we might turn this around in our training. Let's go ahead and put some jobs in there that automatically unlock user accounts every hour or nightly, right? Let's go ahead and put in let's use this new tool that you've just licensed and put in some best practices for your organization, stuff that all groups should be doing. And we'll walk you through how to do that. And as part of that, you'll learn the product and be able to do even more with it. So once again, we didn't write this product just to help you with your day-to-day. We helped it with your transformation. All organizations, as you know, as the leader of NiUG, they're going through a transformation, right? Things are different these days. Well, let's go ahead and make our database ready for the new world. And so we're going to help you with that with a free 1 hour one-on-one training. And if you say, hey, I don't care about unlocking accounts, I don't care about best practices, just show me how to change my member types, we'll teach you that too.
All right. One of the things that you also talked about, and that's an awesome deal. Thank you for giving that out to only those who are going to watch this. So we're going to start hiding some little bonuses in these clips to try and get you guys to listen to some of these communications and be in the know, as I say. So keep an eye and ear open for those. One of the things that you also talked about earlier, and we're going to wrap this up in a couple minutes, but
a hot minute.
Of the things, I was going to say a hot minute, but I just decided not to. One of the things that you talked about too was being able to, a conversation you and I had about the iDMS product and then being able to more thoroughly engage your constituents or members. What other things have you seen people using and utilizing that product to do?
Well, so I'll put the salesperson hat on. Once again, like I said, the unlocking accounts is a great example, right? You think about what's happening today. If you get locked out and then you can't get back in for 24 hours or until you call the organization, you may never call again, right? So they're doing fun things like automatically unlocking accounts so people can get in quicker. The other thing I'll say from an engagement perspective, especially in this new world, I'm looking at my inbox here and it's a complete and utter disaster, right? We think about why did no one show up for the Zoom, right? We're Zoomed out, we're all this. And I was thinking about my daughter. And when I want to communicate with my 20-year-old daughter who's in college, I could email her. And the comment I make is she will get that email when she's home for Christmas break. When I ask her, did you get my email, right? And she'll be like, oh, let me check my email. So how do I get a hold of my 20-year-old daughter? I text her, right? And I think our text manager product is going to be revolutionary in the fact that that's going to be a new way to communicate with members. You're going to have to be a little judicious with it because you don't want to blast them with text. But gosh, wouldn't it be great if it was the final day to sign up for the NiUG Discovery Conference, the final day to get that member or the early bird discount? I would love a text that told me that. Right. Click here to sign up. Save $50 today, right? I think that's going to be the big change that we see. We're blasting emails. I think it's going to be very similar to what happened between faxing and mass emailing, right? Yeah. Faxing went bye-bye, mass emailing came in.
Yeah, I absolutely agree because I think that, and what many organizations are seeing since COVID started, and the fact that how are you getting information in people's laps? You can't mail anything right now, right? So direct mail was starting to pick up again, and then COVID hit because people were tired of getting everything in their in bins. So then they start moving to direct mail pieces again, and people love that. I love getting stuff in the mail. I'm going to notice something in the mail before I will in my inbox when it comes to something new or, deadlines and exciting news. So being able to do not being able to do direct mail now, going back because we're in COVID, I'm getting more and more and more and more stuff in my inbox. I don't even want to tell you, I'm so embarrassed how many emails I have in my inbox, especially in the area of
unread
promotions.
Or unread.
So, I could go through that for days, start with, 2 years ago and then just start deleting at that point. But being able to utilize some of that functionality through texting and getting those important tidbits of information without having to get yet another email, that to me is huge. So
yes,
I agree.
And like I said, you'll have to be a little careful with it, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to turn it into being blocked, but I get a text every Wednesday from my local, meat market about the specials they're having. I love that text, right?
Yeah.
They have one where you show us the text for a free corn dog. That's one of my favorite Wednesdays, How do you beat that, right?
Exactly. All right, Doug. So I appreciate your time. Thank you for giving me my own personal time for understanding some of your products that I'm not real familiar with. So I didn't even have to listen because I got to interview you and find out that way. And it kept me away from JT. So that's always a plus.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Yeah.
He is a great guy. So I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for giving us all this detail. Again, for those of you on today's podcast, sorry.
Vodka?
For today's vodcast, don't forget this tidbit of information that we hid within the vodcast so that Doug is offering in the way of free
1-hour training on iMIS Data Management Suite tailored to your needs.
I was trying to be quirky about it, but it
it's fine.
Out.
Yeah,
my creativeness just went out the window.
It's all right. It's Friday.
That's right. It is.
Yes.
And by Fridays I'm done. You know that.
Yes. Vodka.
Yes. So thank you, Doug. I appreciate the time. Thank you all for joining us. Don't forget, we have free webinars coming up. We also, and one of them is with one of Doug's staff on diversity, inclusion, and equality. So check that out soon. But also just reach out if you have any questions, if there's certain podcasts or topics that you want us to do for you. We're happy to take some input from everyone. We're always looking for your input and feedback. So thank you for joining us today, and I hope you all have a great day. Take care.
Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, everyone.